What is up, everybody? This is Joe Adams, and welcome to the Relentless Pursuit podcast. As always, we have my man Logan Hyder of Cinema 83 LLC in the house, doing the co-hosting and all the production and all that stuff. Check them out.
That is I.
And we have two wonderful guests. We'll start with Hannah. Known Hannah for a long time.
Come pop into view real quick.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
And then we got our main guest right here, Mrs. Zoe Williams.
Hi, hello. Thank you for the applause. I'm excited to be here. This is my first podcast, so you're taking my potty virgin.
Whoa. Man,
I was going to say that.
That can be spun so many different ways.
I was going to say
the
that.
potty virgin.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
And we're off the rails 30 seconds.
What's up, Zoe? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just had a 7-hour drive this morning to come here and do this, so I'm feeling good.
Nice. Well, it's really good to have you. And for those of you that have been following the podcast, our Relentless Pursuit athlete, Brett Williams, the fighter, this is his little sister.
His episode did really well, so.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So if you've been
Hello.
following it, this is little Zoe in the house. So
I'm actually way cooler than him.
Yeah.
Like 100% cooler, and I fight better, so love you, Brett.
You trained him.
So
Yeah.
far.
That's what I heard.
So far, she's wanting to go pose off with Brandon Curry.
Yep.
And she's a better fighter than Brett. And she works out more than you.
Yes.
So,
I covered everything.
1, 2, 3, up.
I mean,
all
I'm
the
just
ups.
the most perfect human being, so what can I say?
essentially.
So they say. All right.
But yeah, if you did watch Brett's episode, this is his sister, and so don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't even think about it. Because Brett
You don't want those problems.
is out there. He's probably watching
He's
right
watching.
now.
He's lurking.
Yeah.
He's like,
He'll
nobody
eat you
better go in
alive.
there and mess with my
Brett,
sister.
you see what I got? I got you right here, bro.
But Brett, trust
If
me.
you're watching, you see me. I got
But
you.
I'm Brett's, and then I'm his brother, and so he can trust me to look out for you.
You're my brother.
Yeah,
don't-
you are my sister.
You don't have to take it so seriously. I was just making it.
Oh wait, it was a piece of fuzz.
You can't
Joe's like,
do that. Not
Joe's
with
like,
me
I'll
here.
protect her honor too. I'm just
got
kidding.
you, Brett.
Yeah.
He knows I do. But anyways, Zoe. So we're gonna get into what you do, getting your story, among other topics. So basically, introduce yourself, and we'll get into your story next. But tell us what you do. Tell us what you're known for.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. I know you got a lot going on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, my name is Zoe Sunshine Williams. I'm 21 years old.
What's your middle name?
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Oh, is
That's
that
actually
really
your
your middle
Yeah,
name?
it's for real.
Oh, sweet.
For real, my
Damn.
middle name.
For a second, I thought like Brett the Widowmaker. I was like, damn, she got a nickname too.
No, that's my actual name.
That's
I'm
actually
just
way cooler.
That's her fight name.
Yeah.
Sunshine.
Imagine losing to Sunshine.
Well, that's why he likes to be sweepy.
Yeah.
Well, look, there you
You
go.
lost a sweet
Literally.
pea.
I thought he was joking about that, but no.
No, that's my name.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah, no, 21, live in Pensacola. I have a lot of pet bugs. I work for a YouTuber called SML. Shout out to them. Love them. I love my job. And that's my whole life is bugs and puppets.
Bugs and
That's right.
puppets.
She said BUGS.
Yes.
Bugs.
BUGZ.
Bugs.
Bugs.
Well, my name is Buggirl Zoe, so that's
Buggirl.
where you can find me everywhere is Buggirl Zoe.
Yeah. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that stuff you do. So let's take it back a little bit. Zoe, tell us about your life a little bit. We want the viewers to get to know you. This goes, and just tell us your story. Feel free to go how in depth as possible you want to go, because I think it's powerful to hear people's stories and where they've come from and what's molded them into who they are today. So feel free to dive into it a little bit.
Yeah, so growing up, I was always a weird kid. I was really weird. You can even ask Brett. He's like, that girl's fucking yikes. No, I've been playing with bugs ever since I was little. So my mom, she loves to tell this story. And then therefore I love to tell this story to everyone, that when I was about a year and a half, when I was just starting to walk and crawl, my mom had me outside and I saw an ant bed and I decided to sit in that ant bed, and my mom didn't see me do that. So she ran inside to get water or something like that. And when she came back out, I was sitting in the ant bed and I was like, me, Zoe, what's yours? Talking to the ants. The ants were my friends. And she said they were all over my legs, all over my arms, never had one bite.
Whow.
I was just telling them my name. I was like,
Seriously?
"Hey." Yeah.
They didn't bite you.
Nope.
I've been fucked up by some ants.
Were they fire?
See, even now, I've had
They
a
were
couple
fire ants?
bites.
Were they
from-
fire ants?
They were the kind of ants that bite, right? I figure they all do.
Yeah, Yeah.
I know fire ants do. Nowadays.
Yes, definitely. But it was not a fire ant bed. It was just a regular ant bed. Yeah, no. I've always played with bugs. I'd always rather like be outside. Like I had Barbies and stuff, but they were always naked, and I always cut off their hair because I would play like hair time because my mom's a hairdresser. So Barbies weren't really my thing because when like little friends would come over to play, they'd be petrified of my Barbies because they were always just naked and hairless.
What's that scary one off of Toy Story that he, like?
Oh my gosh!
They look like that, probably.
Yes, exactly.
I remember
like
that one. I was like, "Holy shit!" Dude.
Yeah, no, they were all terrifying. Yeah, no, I'd just rather be outside. Me and my brother Zane, he is 20 now, I think, because he's 14 months younger than me, and I'm 21. So yeah, he's 20. We
Hey,
used to.
hold on for me one second.
What'd you do, Logan?
Oh no.
I hear that.
I don't hear an interference. You hear an interference?
I don't even know
If
what
you stop
that was.
talking, I might be able to hear it.
Wow, Logan! I swear to fucking God.
It's okay.
Logan's hearing things.
I'm not hearing. I still hear, but it's just very faint. It's very faint. Go ahead.
Me and my brother
Sorry about
Zane.
that.
No, me and my brother Zane. We would go outside and we'd play like cows. So we would like get on our elbows and like our knees, and we would walk around and like we would eat the grass. And like we loved finding like the little clovers in the grass. And I loved eating them. I loved eating them so much. They were so yummy. And we were just cows.
Good old Zane too. He's a good kid.
Yeah,
Did he tell you I sparred with him?
Oh yeah. Brett was telling me, and Zane didn't back down.
Nope. I hit him in the nose a couple of times. He was like,
Damn.
"Fuck," and I was like, "Hey man, you're doing good."
Yeah, no, I was
It's cool,
proud of
though.
him that he didn't back down. He's great. I love him. He's my best friend. My brothers are definitely my best friends.
It's cool that Brett's like getting him into that too. You know,
Yeah,
getting him
yeah.
into the combatives and stuff like that. Like I don't know, he seemed to really enjoy it, and he was just doing his thing.
Yeah, no.
he's a cool kid.
As Brett said, it's in our blood.
It is in your blood.
And I mean, I train all the time, so I mean, I obviously know that I'm the best.
I was fucking with some shit over here. You say you actually do fight? For real?
Absolutely not.
Zoe ain't doing no
about
damn
that.
fights.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm the biggest coochie in the entire world. So
That's okay. That's fine. I like how you use the word coochie like that. Hell yeah. Yeah. So messing around with bugs, you know, what else was your childhood like? I mean, I know Brett had, some struggles there. I mean, he went a little in depth about that. Like,
yeah. Everything was pretty much great. My mom and dad got a divorce when I was 9, and like it really hit me. I was like, why is this happening? Like, why is my family tearing apart? Like, I love my mom, I love my dad, and I feel so bad because I remember when my mom brought around her first boyfriend, which she is now her husband. She was the only guy that was ever brought around. His name is Riley. He's my stepdad. And I remember when we went to the beach with him for the first time, and I was an asshole. I was a terrible human being. I'm surprised my mom didn't pull down my little bathing suit pants and beat my ass. And we got in the car. I was like, why are you doing this? You're ruining our family. I hate you. And I was ruthless.
yeah.
As like an 8-year-old, 9-year-old.
But now you're older and you understand that like sometimes relationships
Yes.
they just fall through and they're better off apart.
Yes, very much so.
But kids don't understand that.
No, I had no idea. I was just like, and my mom would get so upset and she would get so offended, even though I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. She said she would get so offended because my dad would bring around like all these girls, and I would love them. And I would love to meet all of them. But like the second my mom brought around my,
Why do you think that is?
I was about to ask the same question, baby.
I have no idea. And I've tried thinking about it too, but I don't know. Maybe I literally have no answer.
Don't have an answer.
That's just how my little kid brain was.
Did you totally jump into a conclusion here? So tell me if I'm stupid, but did you have like any animosity towards her because of the divorce? You think that's why?
Maybe because there's a lot of stuff about the divorce that like I blocked out. So my mom's been like telling me some stuff, and like I would hear them fighting, but I would normally just hear like my mom fighting or like my mom talking to my grandma, my gogi. So I guess that I just heard that, and I was thinking maybe I thought it was her fault. It was definitely wasn't her fault. It was kind of, I guess, both joint parties. But I love my mom. I love my dad. It was funny. With my dad, right after they got out of divorce, we lived out in this like tiny ass trailer in Milton. It would just be me, my dad, and Zane. And I remember when he would pick us up from school, he would always take us to Dollar General and he would let us pick out like a $5 toy every single Wednesday. I vividly remember having like this bouncy ball toy. And like you could
Now I
like
definitely
change.
hear it. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. You hear it now, right?
Yeah, I do. Damn it. Fucking thing. You know, I got to get with Road again. We haven't had this issue in a long time. It's because we got Zoe here.
Hello.
It's too much energy.
Yeah, I do have a lot of energy.
So much energy.
We basically just have to move shit around until it just stops.
Yeah, it's so weird, man.
I think we're good. So before, when it wasn't actually buzzing, but it's like I could hear it coming. So like when you were
Yeah.
talking, I could like hear it was like fuzzy in the background. I was like, something's not right.
It's
Okay,
like
we should be okay
buzz
now.
on your ass.
You had a favorite toy, is what you were saying, or something?
Yeah, no.
Dollar General.
Dollar General, $5 bouncy balls, and you could like change their colors and stuff. And we had this like little boxer named Lily, and like we'd wrestle out there with her. And this vivid memory, there one time like there would be like these dragonflies that would just like come, and there was like literally 1,000 of them. And so like outside and like outside of our trailer, there'd be like a little pond, but there's a big pond, and like I loved to fish. And I just remember like we were out there fishing, all these like dragonflies were just like everywhere, and they just land on you, and they were super nice. Yeah, no, I loved it out there. My dad, okay, so y'all know those like crates, sometimes you see them on the side of the road, like out in the country. They're like these big white boxes, and like, but there's like a metal grate around them, and it'll be holding like a liquid. Sometimes you'll see it on like trucks.
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about.
it's like a plastic.
Yes.
It's like a plastic drum looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
like a crate over it. So somehow my dad cut that in half, and so he like connected like two of them. And so every time we would catch like a little brim or something, like he filled it up with water, and like the brim would be like our pets. And so like he made like this little tunnel. So like I'd like pet brim and little bass out there. It was so fun. Yeah, no, we were out the trailer for a while.
And that was like till when?
That was probably until, because we moved back in with my dad. We moved back in with my meemaw, maybe when I was like 11-ish, and then we were with our meemaw for a little bit longer. My dad actually had another one of his girlfriends live at my meemaw's house. She was a nightmare. And then my nanny passes away, which is my dad's grandma, so my dad's mom's mom.
I do remember Brett talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she passed away, my dad took her house.
I know that was
So-
really hard on Brett too, from what he said.
Yeah. It was definitely hard on my dad. It was weird, like moving in there at first, because I remember like the last time I'd been in there was right after she had passed, and I was
Wait,
like,
maybe it was a different grandmother. that passed.
yes, that's a different grandma.
Okay.
That's his mom's.
Because that was not like too
mom.
long ago. So
Yeah, no,
okay.
this was like this was probably over maybe 9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So the last time I'd been in the house, I was like picking out like all like the stuff that I wanted that she had. She had like a bunch of like knickknacks and stuff. Like I still have like a globe, and I have this like creepy ass porcelain doll. It's like a ballerina, but it was always my favorite. And I would always ask her if I could play with it. So when she passed, like that was the only thing that I wanted. And so I have these shelves on my wall. Actually, it's so funny because sometimes like when I wake up in the middle of the night, I have this tapestry, and it has like a face of the sun on it, and like I swear it moves, and it scares the absolute hell out of me. And I'm like, oh my god, like this like
It's
face.
from her house.
No, this tapestry is from Amazon. So I would look at this tapestry, and like the face is moving, and this like happens, like this just happened last night, and like I swear the face is different every single time. And then I had the doll sitting up on a shelf, and I was getting ready for work, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, and out of nowhere, all the shelves fall, and then so that porcelain doll that I got from her, one of the hands broke. So now I'm scared that like I released a spirit into my room.
Ooh, it was contained within there.
I know. Well, so when I would wake up in the middle of the night, like maybe it's some kind of like sleep paralysis because I couldn't really move. I would just like stare, and like I don't know if it was like I stare for 30 seconds because it feels like 2 hours I'm staring at it. So I'll stare at the tapestry, and then I'll stare at the doll for so long, and I'll stare at the arms Because I'm like, it's going to move. It's going to move. It's going to move. And it never does. But the tapestry, that sun, it's like the sun and the moon, but like the sun has a face. And like, I swear it'll be like.
That would fucking freak me out.
Yeah.
Especially on some psychedelics.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Like, whoa. I'd probably puke.
No, it's terrifying. So yeah, I got, last time I went in the house is when I got the doll. So once we moved in there, it was a little weird, but we were with another one of my dad's girlfriends because she moved in time. Her name is Trish. That's what I'm going to say about her. No, I love my dad. And my dad did what he did to provide for us. So whether that's he was like having other girls come around to like help take us to school and stuff, like whatever he had to do. And but me and her didn't get along. So by the time I was like 13-ish, 14, I stopped going to my dad's like full time because we were going like back and forth every other week. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore of her. She would just say the meanest things to me and for no reason. And I'm just like, damn, you bitch. I said, you bitch, at like 14 years old. I was like, you will never see me again. And I left and I never went back. Like, I didn't go back never went back, but I didn't go back for like a year or so. I maybe went back one time for like Christmas when she was at the house, but I did not go around until she was gone.
Yeah.
And then my dad was like, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, my dad he's had some rough patches, but I love him. And he used to call me a lot and he'd be upset and he would just be like, Zoe, I'm so sorry for like being a shitty dad to you.
Yeah.
I love you. And so he makes it a point to call me at least like once a week-ish, once every 2 weeks and just be like, hey, I love you.
Yeah.
I hope you have a great day. And the girl that he's with now, Jen, they're actually married. They just got married not too long ago. She is one of my like favorite humans ever. I tell her all my deepest, darkest secrets. I love her kids, Brittany, and man, if her older daughter listens to this, she's gonna hate me because I forgot her name.
Oh.
But I love her.
We can edit it in. Maybe I'll do like a little voice. I'll be like, oh.
This,
Just mumble it. Be like, oh yeah, her name is.
yeah.
And then we'll be like, man, the speakers something went out.
Yeah. No, love you. Shout out, girl. Love you.
Your dad's a trip, you know.
Oh my God, he's so funny.
He's funny as shit.
He has no filter.
Brett jokes because like he's like. Joe's dad, my dad's favorite person. He's like, man, Joe's so fucking cool. And he's like,
every time like Brett has an event, he'll call me and be like, hey, you think Joe's gonna be there? Hey, you think you can bring me another?
Your dad does?
Yeah. He'll be like, you think Joe's gonna be there? You think you can bring me another shirt? You know.
Every time I see him, he's like, what the fuck is up, man? Yeah. And I'm like, what's up, Joe?
That's awesome.
He's funny as shit. He cracks me up.
Man, he's so funny. And for the longest time, so in the house, when you walk in, it would be like so it's like an older house. So the layout's kind of like different. So when you walk in the front door, it's just like a straight shot. And so it'd be like the dining room and then like the living room, but there's nothing in the dining room. It's just kind of like a big area. And so, but the dining room, between the dining room and the living area, there's like this, like a post, I guess, to like add it together when they were building the house. And so he would like hang his Relentless Pursuit shirts there. And so every time you walk in the house, like that's all you'd see is like your shirt is just like hanging up, like as
hell yeah,
like in the middle of the walkway,
awesome.
not even on the side.
He's like so fucking proud.
Yes.
I love it. That's cool.
Yes. And there was one time I walked in there and he was like, you like my shirts? I was like, Dad, I love your shirts.
That's so awesome.
God, he's so funny.
That's great.
That means a lot though. I appreciate that.
No, he loves it. And I'll never forget when it was like the fight. Oh, it was the fight in Crestview for Brett and like the guy. He was a piece of shit. Like he just like pretty much just quit. And you had to set up and like my dad just.
Your dad is behind my booth just yelling some crazy things. I was like, oh boy. But then it was the Crestview crowd, so like wasn't that concerned.
Yeah.
I remember like the first person that came up to that booth. So there was like a couple. All right, so I'll tell you. So some guy was boxing that night.
Yeah.
And he walked up with these two like pretty heavy ladies, and they were looking at stuff, and he was like next to one, and then one was here, and the lady in front of me is talking. So there's one lady, another lady, and him, He's like telling this one, he's like, you gonna buy me a hat? And she was like, well, that's your girlfriend, you know, like, why don't you, you know, I guess it was his wife he was splitting up with, but like she befriended his girlfriend.
The drama.
And, but they were like partners, these two ladies. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, what kind of weird stuff?
Welcome to Christmas.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus. And then the next customer, this guy asked me, he's like, you selling me wife beaters? And I was like, no, I don't got any of those. I got tank top, you know, and I'm like, fucking Crestview, Florida, man. This is the crowd.
Was he missing teeth?
I think so, probably. It was dark, but he had a wife beater on. That was the funny part. And I guess he needed like a new one with like a logo on it. But I was like, no, I don't got any wife beaters.
He bought the one that he had on and he had just never taken it off. Like showers with it. Like it's just a part of him.
It threw me off, man. I was like, hell yeah.
Like I think when you're born in Crestview and you're a white guy, like you're just born with like a wife beater on.
It's like, it's already in your body. You like pop out with like a bush light and a wife beater. You're like, hey.
Just in there drunk party. Just your teeth just like never grow in.
Yeah, it was interesting. But no, they're
Florida, a different breed, man.
Oh my God.
Florida is different. I was born in Florida though. I was born in Tampa Bay.
Excuse me?
I'm a little Tampa boy. I'm a little Florida
Tampa,
orange.
Tampa
almost said
boy.
Florida. I almost said Florida peach. That's Georgia.
A little Florida peach. Little Florida
I was a
crackhead.
Florida peach. I was not a crackhead. Yeah, never done crack.
Not that particularly.
I'm classier than that. But anyways, so
Classy.
moving forward, you know, you got high school and all that shit. Anything you want to share from there until we dive into the other stuff?
Shout out to my only two friends that I talked to from high school, Lily Locke and Anna Aiken. Everyone else I can't stand. Like they can all just go sit in a hole somewhere. So my freshman and my sophomore year, it was great. Well, in 8th grade, I had started cheering when I was in fifth grade, and then I did all-star cheer 7th grade. So come 8th grade, I decided to do school cheer. And like I was friends, and you know, everyone was like, "Oh, you're so popular," because like I was hanging out with all the popular girls, and I mean, half of them were bitches. Like they were fun to hang out with when you know we were all younger, but as we got older, like they just became like people that
I was like, ugh.
Yeah, no. They eventually made me hate my life and made me hate cheer. And not even just them, because some of the girls from middle school, like some of them just kind of stopped cheering. But like Tate High School, I went to Tate High School. Fuck Tate High School. Like with all of my heart. Like the cheer team, they were so dramatic and they were so mean. I couldn't do it. I couldn't deal with it. So
That's just school for you these days.
Yeah, they were all assholes. And it's like, I would hang out with everyone. So like in 9th grade, I had a lunch. And so all like the mentally handicapped, the ESE kids, they had a lunch. So like my favorite thing, oh my gosh, some of them like so call me and I still talk to them this day. And I've been graduated like 3 years now, but I would go sit with them and I would eat lunch with them and like I'd be on their drama and like 4 of them like asked me to be their girlfriend, and next thing you know, like the next day they're bringing me like their new girlfriend that they got, and I'm like, yeah, I love it. And then they would just, it's so sad because I gave them all my number because I was like, you know, if you ever need someone, you're here. And then I felt so bad, but like I had to like block all their numbers because they would just like call me constantly, and I felt so bad. And like at school, they'd be like, "Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a while. You know, I tried to call you." And I was like, "Yeah, I must have missed it." But I would always talk to them at school. But they just, you know, they don't know those boundaries. And so like when I'm at cheer and like my phone is going off 24/7, I'm like, damn. But I love them though. I love them. Oh my gosh, they were like my highlight. But then like the girls that I'd be hanging out with, they'd be like, "Zoe, like, why are you sitting with them? Like, why the fuck why'd you just say that to me? Like, why did you
Why wouldn't you? They're people.
God, and they're so sweet, and they don't have, it's like no worries besides like who's their girlfriend and who's their boyfriend.
They're just trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and they were so cute, and I love them all. And like once I saw that, I kind of like steered away from like the popular crowd, so to speak. And then I met some other friends, and we are not friends anymore. There's a couple friends that I had throughout high school that just became absolute bitches. And like I see them walking in the mall sometimes, and like they'll turn and they'll look at me, and I'll just stare at them back. And like once they see that I'm staring at them, they'll just like turn away and walk away. And there's like so many people from high school that will like come by the store and they'll be like, "Hey Zoe," I'm like, "Why the fuck did you just say hey to me?"
Yeah.
You never said hey to me in high
Because
school.
they were assholes.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
terrible people. Everyone was terrible people. And so junior year,
This episode is brought to you by Relentless Pursuit. Check us out and show some love to our apparel at relentlesspursuitlifestyle.com. Check us out on IG at relentless_pursuit and for the headquarters, Relentless Pursuit _HQ. For the podcast, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and review. Definitely help us get this out there more and more. We're gaining a lot of traction. And if you're interested in being a sponsor for the podcast, hit me up at relentlesspursuitlifestyle@gmail.com. And we'd love to get your business out there and get you some exposure. And also, Patreon coming shortly with exclusive content and all kinds of cool shit that we're going to be throwing at you. You don't want to miss out on that. It's going to be really valuable. So definitely check it out and stay on the lookout for the updates. And forgot. Also, Cinema 83 LLC, my man Logan, if you need some videography done, some podcast editing, all the good shit, he is the professional. He's really good at all that stuff. That's why we have him here all the time. But yeah, definitely check him out. Passing on to you.
hey guys, Zoe here. Super excited to be on the podcast. Definitely thank them for having me. You can definitely find me on any social media at Buggirl Zoe, like TikTok and Instagram. That is BUGGIRLZOE. No why? I don't pick up. No why?
Why?
No why. And then for my store social media for Instagram and TikTok, that is Pensacola SML store. I can't spell that, so
It's okay. All they gotta do is Google Pensacola.
yeah,
it'll
show up. It'll be on there.
All right, so back at it. So you're talking about. We'll get to where you're at, but you're talking about the cheering.
Yeah,
And I actually cheered in high school.
crazy.
Well, my senior year, I remember my junior year, the girls asked me to cheer, and I was like, nah, dude, I'm too tough for all that shit. I play football.
Yeah,
And then my senior year came around, and I was like, you know what? It's a bunch of chicks. There's like 3 of my football buddies are going to do it too. I was like, I might as fucking well do it. So we did the competition. Like, we didn't cheer games or anything, but we did the competition stuff. And I'll tell you what, man, it was a lot of fucking fun. Like, I don't know. I learned how to tumble, and I was like launching people in the air and hold them in my hand. And I was like, this is pretty fucking cool. And so I did that my senior year, and then we went to nationals in Orlando, and like we didn't win, but we did pretty well in it.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a pretty killer competition, and then I was recruited by like University of Oklahoma and like all these big colleges and shit while I was there. People were like, yeah, trying to get me to go to tryouts, and then I had a job for UCA. So I was a UCA cheer instructor too at summer camps. So I'd go like summer camps, and it was so fucking cool as an 18-year-old dude. And they're just like, hey, go to this camp. We're going to pay you to hang out with a bunch of like college cheerleaders. And I'm like telling all my friends, I'm like, y'all fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to my summer job. Y'all have fun at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm hanging out with all these fucking cool people. And then, you know, I ultimately got into drugs and fucked that all up after, you know, when I went to college the first time around. But hey, it was a cool experience. So
That's so insane.
just cheering away. Go Cards.
That's so crazy. UCLA. I haven't heard that in forever.
That was like the best fucking job.
Yes. Well, I always went to their camps, and I love the apparel. Like, I would always get like all the apparel that they were selling, and I actually have a pair of the UCA cheer shorts in my suitcase right now.
That was such a fun job,
Yeah.
man. Because they
It's
just
so
send me to
fun.
like different colleges or like the beach and shit, and they'd pay for all my gas, all my food, and like and the dudes at the camps, like we don't have to do. We're just like spotting people.
Yeah.
Although the pressure was on because I used to have to set up a routine. I had like my own team I'd have to set a routine up for. And I was like, fuck, you know, like I'm like, they all think I'm like 30 years old because I'm like a UCA instructor or some shit. But I'm like, you know, just like a year above them. And I'm like, all right, you're going to go this way. And like, you're going to set up this pyramid. But it was kind of cool too, because I just had to like.
Once it all comes together too, and like they hit everything.
Yeah, and it was like an under
feeling.
pressure thing. Like I was like, all right, well, I have no choice. I got to fucking execute this. So it was really cool to kind of see them all do that and mentor them for the week or whatever. And then, but at night, like we just went and partied. Like we partied hard. I was like, dude, this is so much fun. So that was a really cool after high school job.
That's so crazy.
Old Cheering Joe, man.
Oh my gosh,
Everything.
a UCA instructor. That's so insane.
I know.
That's insane in my brain.
I'm a big deal.
Insane in the membrane.
Pretty much. And also what you were saying too is like, I remember you were talking about like, you know, how people in your school and like, it's a small town, small area. And so people, they had their cliques a lot more so. And they're really weird towards like anybody else. I mean, whether it comes to race or like mentally handicapped or whatever. But like I moved to a very small town from Georgia, like a really big, diverse school. And so I don't know, I just love people. So I just got along with everybody, you know, and but the people that were like the crew of people that grew up there, they were always cool, and their parents, you know, were all involved in the little town. Like they just had this fucking, you know, you just always felt like an outsider, and they always treated those other people different. Like they're too good. And it's like, well, you're still there doing the same fucking thing every generation was. So there's that, you know, and I don't mean to sound like a hater, but like, you know, they were always just kind of dicks to other people. And I never understood that.
I went to elementary school, like the same school system, like K through 5. And then my 6th grade year, I went to like 2 or 3 different, I don't even remember now, 2 or 3 different middle schools before I ended up going to Mount Juliet Middle School outside of Nashville. And then I went to Mount Juliet through high school. But I will say with that, one thing that I noticed, and I think Blake was talking about this, or somebody was talking about this because they went to a private, no, maybe it was Jay, because he was saying he went to a private school because he said he went to JV2. And he was talking about how everybody there had, especially in the private school community, but had gone to like elementary school, middle school. They'd known each other since they were like 5. You know, maybe their families knew each other before they were even born.
Yeah.
And so like coming into even as like 6th or 7th grade, not really having that. Yeah, it gets clicky really, really quick.
Yeah,
it does. And it's just like, you know, hate to sound like this, but
I played sports.
They're sitting there talking about how like their biggest highlight at 30 years old is how like they were all conference in high school. It's like we've evolved.
Yeah.
But that's your biggest highlight.
Will.
Yeah. They don't. I mean, it's weird to me. I don't know. I'm weird about the small town mindset. Like I like small towns because I like the country. I like rural areas, you know. I'm not a big fan of big cities, but then just like those small towns where everybody knows everybody and everybody knows your fucking business and they're alwait's talking about you. It's like all the gossip and it's just like a weird little culture, you know?
So
my dad grew up in Crossville, you know about Crossville, and it's
beautiful out there.
Yeah, especially to be the way they travel a fair amount, but like to be the way that he is. Like, so what I was about to say a minute ago is that I prided myself in having like friends in different groups. You know, I didn't want to just have like football player friends, like, you know, so I was proud that I had nerd friends and football player friends, and like I thought that was a good thing, and I actually think that it's benefited me a lot in business.
Yeah, it's like
because I can get along with anybody.
It's like people I didn't even hang out with in high school, but that was just nice too.
Yeah.
Like the funny part is like I get orders from them for apparel.
Oh, that's so
because I was like we never really talked. Like I was always just kind to them and stuff, but they support me now. And the people that like I hung out with in sports, you know, one of them when I started the brand, he's like, man, I need a shirt. And I was like, all right, here's the website, crickets. Like, well, you think you're fucking special because you were like, you know, like, no, you're not getting fucking shit for free, you know? And it's just kind of weird how it transitions and you really like pay a keen eye to those things. And it's like, man, it's not about being cool or popular. It's just about being you and being good to people. And like, I don't know, it's just so much fucking better.
We need to get back to you, but just to put cherry on top of that, I would say I've had that same experience. And it's weird because like, some of those people, I guess maybe I didn't even want to admit it, but it's like some of those people I was like, oh, I want to be friends with them because they are popular. Some of those people I did become friends. There was one circle of friends in particular, or circle of guys in particular, that went to Chattanooga with me, and they all rushed fraternities. I didn't even want to rush a fraternity, but they were the only kids that I knew from my school. We knew each other, but we weren't really like close like that. We ended up rushing a fraternity together, and like one of them in particular became like really, really, really close friends with me. And that one that became really, really close friends with me was like the most popular guy in school. Yeah. He turned out to be gay. So that's why he was like, he had all like girls around him all the time, guys around him all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just
he liked the guys more.
He's just a fantastic,
nothing wrong with that.
extroverted personality. You know what I mean? And so he was that guy in school.
Yeah.
Like, and I grew up whenever social media was just coming about. Like in high school was when Facebook was just getting popular.
Yeah.
And like for some reason this sticks out in my head, but this kid posted a picture one day of like a black wall, and like it got like all these likes. And I remember like genuinely being like upset about that. You know, like how the
why
fuck,
is that cool?
You know, and then you become friends with some of these people through different circumstances later on, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't really, and so I got my point is I got some of that love that came back to later on, and it's weird because it's like I didn't really, and I still don't really even know you, and you know, it's weird.
I'm always gonna have a soft spot for like the outcasts and shit, anyways, because like I've grown into being like an outcast of my own. You know, I'm into weird shit. You know, like I'm a part of some crazy things. You know, but like that's who I am. So I've always had a soft spot for that. Like I don't know, I don't like trends or like the crowd. I guess you could say.
I also hate bullies.
Oh yeah,
my God.
And a lot of people that are like,
and that was the thing too.
Cliquey like that, they're bullies.
And I think going into high school, like when I moved, you know, like I grew a shit ton from like when I was a little kid, and then, you know, like a lot of people knew me. I guess I was popular, or whatever, like good at football, and then. But the thing is because I was bullied like my whole life because I moved so much. So it was like, all right, this is kind of nice. But then I don't know, there really is no fucking value in that at all. Like, you know, just
I think everybody
get along with good people.
Yeah.
Like you hear about like really terrible bullying stories, and then it makes me think like, well, I wasn't really bullied like that. But I think everybody's bullied. Like, you know,
I had my head slammed on the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking basketballs nailed in my fucking face. Like I used to,
Yeah. See, but then I start thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And then I didn't like, have that growth spurt.
Well,
and he used to. It's funny. On some of the episodes, he describes like he was like, yeah, I hadn't hit my growth spurt yet. I was only like 5'11", 180, and I'm like, I was like 5'6", 150, and so
whatever.
Yeah, it's I hate bullies.
Yeah, they suck. And like I don't know, like. They won't come bully me now.
So to throw it back to you.
Yeah, no.
I was going to mention something earlier and ask you what you thought about this, but like in general, it seems like that this is true that boys, like when they bully people, it's usually physical, and with girls, they're just mean as fuck.
Yeah, it's all mental. It's all words. They're no fight. Like I personally. I wasn't bullied in high school, but I did stand up for the people that did get bullied. And that eventually just made me hate high school because it didn't matter what anyone did. Like these bitches are always going to be bitches, whether that be the girls or the guys, whatever you identify as. If you're a bitch, you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so sad. But I've never had to deal with bullying until like the past like 2 years.
And we only identify as girls and guys around here. All right.
So when you said that they were super mean, you weren't talking about to you necessarily?
No, the ESC kids, people would just be so mean to them. They would pick on them. They would push them, mess with their backpack, like
you being friends with them, you saw it up close and personal.
Yes, and like Zane, growing up, he was on the spectrum. He's, you wouldn't even tell now. Like, I think some people like, once they get older, more mature. Zane,
your brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Zane, my brother, I think, sometimes when you get older, like he just had like raging ADHD and was just like bouncing all over the place. But like what guy doesn't have raging ADHD when they're like 5?
Yeah.
So,
all of them. Or 35.
Yeah. So like I would go to his like psychiatric appointments because, it was just my mom pretty much doing it by herself when we were younger. So like I would go and like I would see all these kids. So I've always had like a soft spot for them. And like I would just see, the ESC kids, they would go up to, people at the lunch and try to sit with them and they would just completely ignore them. And it would break my heart. So I'd be like, don't act like that. But it's so insane because when you're nice to them, it's gonna make me tear up thinking about it. There is this one guy, I think his name was Cameron. He wasn't very verbal, but he knew you and like he didn't like talk to you, but he like if he liked you, he just wanted to like stand around you and be around you. And so at the store one day, I had my back turned, and so like I hear this like guy come running up, so I turn around and he gives me a hug, and like he had never touched me before, but it was the guy Cameron, and I hadn't seen him since 9th grade because I think his mom pulled him out of school. But he was like, "Do you remember me? You remember me?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you remember me?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so then he like runs out and he goes to get his mom. He's like, "Mom, this is my friend. This is my friend." And I was talking to the mom, and like the mom starts tearing up because I told her like, when I was in 9th grade in high school at Tate is when I saw him. I would just sit with them and I'd try to talk to him. He would hang out with all of them. I hang out with all of his buddies. And his mom said, when you're nice to them, like they never forget you. Like, and you just help their life so much. And I will never forget that. And I think that is so big. Just be nice to people because you never know who needs it. And hearing his mom say that.
Yeah. Oh. Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that because like actually recently I go to the barber shop every week.
Yeah.
And dude, I met years ago. I think he's got something going on. I don't know specifically, but he loves like metal music. And like,
yeah.
I haven't seen him in like 2 years. And he's like, oh, you're the metal guy, you know, because I sat there at the barbershop and talked to him about metal and shit, you know, and he's like, we're talking about bands and shit,
Yeah.
you know, outside of the barbershop. But I was like, man, like, I just have a conversation with him about something we relate on, you know, and he just thought that's the coolest thing. And he didn't forget me. I was like, no fucking shit, dude.
Yeah, that's all it takes is a conversation. Like, especially at work, a lot of the fans of the YouTube channel normally do have some kind of, are on the spectrum somewhere. And, but they're so sweet. And when they come in, like, they'll just come in, they'll give me the biggest hug. And there's this little boy, his name, I think, is Gino, and he has Down syndrome. And the smile on his face when he'll just, like, watch the YouTube on the TV, like, you can't help but, like, not just bawl your eyes out. You're like, it's just the cutest thing in the entire world. If I ever went back to college, I think I would probably go to school to, like, be some kind of teacher or, like, physical therapy for definitely like disabled kids that like have difficult like with their motor skills and stuff like that, whatever that may be. I always thought it'd be cool to work with them, but no, yeah, they just have my heart. And
I mean, they're a lot bigger and better people than a lot of those people that make fun of them.
a 1,000%.
Oh,
I agree
yeah,
with
it's
that.
pure innocence, you know?
Yeah.
It's cool.
And they're really smart.
Yeah.
Right? Like appearances aside, like,
No,
you
yes.
know, not judging by their cover, they're actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like these kids, like they'll come in and they'll.
I just say
like,
that because people obviously make fun of them, like,
Yeah,
as if they're
Yes.
dumb.
Yes,
And
they
it's like
do, and
there's-
they're not. They way smarter than you. Like they'll come in and they'll like, you know, they may not be able to sing their ABCs, but they know every single name of every single character on that YouTube show, and I'm like, holy moly! Like it's so crazy to see. Yeah, no.
I have a little
suck,
cousin
friends
who's
suck.
like on the autistic spectrum, but like with him, for example, I mean, he's really smart too, but like his main thing is like he has like a couple quirks, and other than that, he's like pretty normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love it.
But he's autistic. you
Look
know,
at
but it's
us.
like-
Yeah.
Look at us. Being
the
good
first-
folk.
first time we had this conversation.
Yeah, interesting. That's cool though. Well, it's good to know about you though, Zoe. And you do have that kind of personality that just gets along with anybody.
Yeah, I
a
love
lot of love
everyone.
there. Yeah, and that's an admirable trait too. It's what we need in this world too.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's too tied into their own fucking thing, and they're willing to shun anybody out. But I'm like open arms. You know,
So gross.
If you got a good heart, like fucking A, let's connect. You know,
Fucking A.
fucking A, dude.
I was about to say moving past high school then.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said something about like you've had some medical stuff.
Yeah. So, come senior year of high school, you know, COVID hit, so I didn't really get a senior year. Well, I guess in sophomore year,
Damn, that's crazy. Senior year of high school is whenever COVID hit.
Jesus Christ, I feel.
Yeah.
I'm a little baby here, guys.
You're 20. Actually, whenever you said you were 21, I was like, whoa.
He
'Cause
just
I-
turned 21.
I have a sister
did.
that's 21, and I have another sister that's 20.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Insane. Sophomore year, I got super sick. Didn't know why. I'd never been sick before. I don't know if this is like TMI, but like I started my period super late. So this happened maybe like a year-ish, because I started when I was like 14, 15. So when I was 16, I just turned 16, I got put in the hospital. They told me I had leukemia. And then I was followed by a cancer doctor for a year.
You had leukemia?
They told me I had leukemia, and then nothing ever came up. I had cancer cells in my blood, and I was like, you're good. And I'm like, okay, just don't be throwing the C word around. Don't be saying I have cancer when I don't have cancer. So
That's a scare.
I'm sorry. So they told you had leukemia, but
I didn't.
It was a misdiagnosis or what?
The ER doctors, they were like, okay, like you have leukemia, like all your blood work shows up, like you need to go see a cancer doctor. And then I go see the cancer doctor like a couple weeks later. And then he was like, I don't see anything wrong. I'll follow you for a year. And we were like, okay, so why would the ER doctors like be so certain on that? Because like we saw the blood work was there, the nucleated red blood cells, which is a sign of cancer cells. It comes from your like spinal fluid or whatever. Like it was in there. And so like, how can you have that and it just go away? It's
a miracle.
no one ever knows. So then come senior year, I got super sick. This was before COVID, and like I got put in the hospital again because I got put in the hospital sophomore year, and then come senior year, I get put in the hospital again, in and out, not feeling good. And then I get told I have lupus. And then I was like, oh, okay, so not leukemia, but very similar to leukemia because lupus mimics leukemia and the ways of like the symptoms and the blood work. pretty much just like I think it's just where your like white blood cells attack itself. So I have like no immune system. And so I was like, okay, I have lupus. Let's go to a doctor. And so doctor's like, yeah, you have lupus. Yeah, you don't have lupus. So it's just been like, oh my God, there's just so much. Like I literally take like 20 pills in the morning, 20 pills at night, and I still don't have like a proper diagnosis of what's wrong with me. They, in 2021, I had more cancer cells come up, coming from, my little girly girl area, and they thought I had ovarian cancer because I had a cyst that apparently had been there for years, and the doctors just never told us. And so the cyst had gotten bigger. I have cancer cells. They're like, look, you need to go get tested for cancer right now because it's what it's looking like. And I had to have like immediate surgery. Like I'll have scars for the rest of my life. And then the cancer cells just go away. And then
That's wild.
Or maybe that was 2020. Yeah, that was early 2020. So summer of 2021, I get super sick, and then I start having like paralysis episodes, and I still have them, and I take medicine and stuff for it, but I'll just like lose like the whole right side of my body. Like I can't move it. The first 2 times it happened, I couldn't move my head, but from then on, it was just like my arms and my legs. Like I'll just call my mom and be like, I'm stuck. Like I can't move. And it's insane. Like one time it happened when I was like driving. I was like, I can't feel my right side. This is not
It's just
okay.
one side?
Yep, just the right side.
It's like, sounds like a stroke.
I have been checked for that. I have been checked for MS. Nothing comes up. So the first time that it started happening, I went to the hospital and they were checking me for that. They didn't find that, but they found this tumor in my head. And it's still there today. And it's on the left side of my brain, or it's on my pituitary gland. It's like a pituitary tumor, pituitary adenoma. But it's like benign, but my blood work was down. More like my white blood cell counts were low. Doctor comes in, he was like, we need to check you for cancer. And it's always cancer. Like doctors just love throwing that word out at me and hinting it and saying it. I just don't understand why. Like it's insane. So I
Seems like something you shouldn't say unless you're at the very end of the road and you know 100% that is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, when I was in the military, long story short, I was told I had testicular cancer.
Oh my
So for like
gosh.
2 weeks, thought I had testicular cancer, and I saw another doctor. They're like, "No, you're good."
Yeah,
I was like,
it's
"What?"
insane. Yeah.
I was like, "That's people are at work, like pat me on the back, and stuff."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the hell?"
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That was scary.
That's what I was talking about. Like if it was a misdiagnosis, because I almost jumped back in and said I would be talking to that ER doctor again.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that's
we talked about suing the hospital, and my mom.
for emotional distress. I mean, you could.
I couldn't do anything. I was in the military. There's like
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
definition of
Fucking deal
emotional
with it.
distress.
Yes, it is. And then apparently the tumor had been in my head back when I was in the hospital in 2016. So another like medical diagnosis that we were just never aware about. We were never told. So with that and the ovarian cyst, well, the cyst in the ovarian area, it was on my fallopian tube. And then the doctor's just saying, with the doctors, it's nobody knows what the hell's wrong with me. Now I go to UAB, which is Birmingham, the University of Alabama in Birmingham, and I'm being seen by doctors there. And like I was diagnosed with small fiber neuropathy. It's where something in your cells, it makes your feet tingle and your hands burn and weird stuff. And they thought that, and they think that like I have some kind of migraines that could possibly be causing the paralysis episodes, and I take injections for them and it helps with the headache. But like with the migraines, I don't really get headaches. It's more of just the paralysis episodes. Like there's just so much stuff that goes on, and the doctors have no idea.
So they're still clueless.
Yep.
What a ride.
It's the most frustrating thing in the entire world.
I can imagine that's pretty fucking like, ugh.
Yeah.
So the lupus wasn't lupus.
So the ANAs, which are the markers for lupus, they always come back positive
So why don't they just say that that's what it is?
because they say it's not.
That's weird.
Look, you're telling me. You're telling me.
So you're still trying to just get down to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Look, when I'm throwing stuff in, I'm like, look, I'm an idiot. I'm just throwing stuff out of my ass.
No, they're a valid question, but it's
like-
okay because I don't know
It's
either.
kind of like if you do a test for something and the answer is yes, it's like, okay, well, then that's
Yeah.
what it is, right?
So you're just a very rare circumstance.
Yes, but my mom has a lot of like medical issues too, so it's our whole family.
So like in that situation, whenever it comes back and it's like, it looks like you have lupus, and then they're like, no, like, I mean, do you say like, well, why would it say that? Like, what is their explanation for not
Yeah, they just say that some things don't add up with the lupus. Like what I would have if it was lupus, I think would be systemic lupus. So like it comes and goes, like it's not always there. Like you'll get these flare-ups and you'll just have bad days. And like when I have flare-ups, like I'm dead. But like when I don't have flare-ups, like I'm fine. But the doctors just keep throwing me like all these different meds. And they're like, just take this, take this, take this, take this, take this. And like, I'm okay right now. Like I'm doing good. But you know, I'm on all this medication, like just a little pill popper over here at 21 years old.
Damn, that fucking blows, man.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. That
It's
sucks.
so insane.
Yeah, and it probably,
So the medication helps balance you out,
Yes.
obviously, but
Yes.
it's not fixing the fucking problem.
No.
It's just kind of like masking it.
Putting it to the side. Yeah, masking it.
this all probably wasn't free either, huh?
What?
Like I said, this probably wasn't all free either, huh?
Hell no. No.
This episode is brought to you by the Music City Fit Expo. This is the largest fitness expo in the South, all held within 70,000 square feet at the Nashville Fairgrounds. There will be more than 150 fitness vendors ranging from apparel, gyms, to supplements, and more. This is going to be at the Nashville Fairgrounds May 13th. Come out, watch tons of fitness events, meet 4 times Mr. Olympia Jay Cutler, support vendors, and meet tons of amazing people within the fitness industry here in Middle Tennessee. All of this and more May 13th at the Nashville Fairgrounds. For more information, get your tickets and head over to musiccityfitexpo.com or find these guys on Instagram at Music City Fit Expo. Thank you.
I have this like whole medical list on my phone just in case I just happen to die. The doctors will know who I am on my phone. I have this like whole medical list and I have like all these diagnoses, but all these diagnoses are just like pretty much just accidental findings. Like it's not the root cause.
Like you're never going in there for that, and then they find other stuff.
Yes. So I've been diagnosed with small fiber neuropathy, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, dysautonomia, just regular autonomic dysfunction. I've had anemia, neutropenias, leukopenia, nucleated red blood cells, on and off, and past. That's all cancer. I have a pituitary tumor, endometriosis, ovarian cyst. I have a PRX gene associated CMT4F. So if anyone knows what that is, good for you.
Google it.
I have mucus retention cyst, and I have mild hearing loss in my right ear.
The fuck?
That last one was random.
They just like randomly found this shit out.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, so we were checking your ovarian cyst out, and what we noticed was that
couldn't hear it.
your right ear is a little bit. We were
couldn't hear
talking to you
what
over there, we weren't really responding.
So hearing loss.
Yeah.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah, that is.
Well,
So, do you have any like kind of way forward with any of that, like, or is it just pretty much
just keeping testing and stuff.
Yeah, I just keep going to a million doctors and just let everyone test me, everyone tell me their opinions.
Like a little lab rat.
Yeah, like Monday I'm going to UAB and like I have to have like an MRI done on my brain. I'm doing like this whole like a small fiber neuropathy test with like the head guy of the neuromuscular department up there. And then I have my first rheumatology appointment, which they will deal with lupus. So we'll show them all like the ANAs. We'll tell them like, this is what's happened. And so hopefully we will get an answer because doctors in Pensacola don't give a fuck.
That's beach life. That's beach living, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
hey.
I was. Now that you say that, so you live in Florida, and I've heard again. I don't fucking know, but I've been told that the pharmaceutical companies there are huge.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously they're huge in general, but like weed, for example, is big no in Florida because they're trying to protect pharmaceutical company, right?
Yeah.
So if you put like where you're at with like, and you're talking about how it's like always a medication, it's like kind of, I wonder if it's those two things are correlated at all.
Who knows?
Telling. Well, seems like you're handling it the best you can.
Yeah.
And you're
And hopefully
charging
you figure
forward.
it out.
You're out on the road. You're traveling. You're
Yeah.
fucking
That
working.
is
You're
true,
doing
yeah,
cool shit.
yeah.
So, you know what? Unfortunately, it's just like kind of a part of your life right now.
Yep.
Hopefully you get to the bottom of it and you're able to fucking put it behind you.
The only
But
thing I can do now is just learn how to manage it and still live a normal life because I will not let it get to me. I will not let it beat me. Like, do I bawl my eyes out when doctors are assholes and they're like, sorry, I don't know what's wrong with you. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it hurts. but-
understandable. But like at the end of the day, you're living a pretty good life,
Yeah.
I'd say. So that's cool. I mean, and a lot of people allow the mental stress
Yeah.
just alone from this situation to fuck them up and like have them down. But you're just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep fucking living and doing my thing,
Yeah.
and that's cool.
Like, do I have diagnosed anxiety and depression? Yes. But I take a bunch of meds for that. So just keep going on.
Hey, whatever works, right? By the way, Zoe's dad is really just wanted me to know. He said, "That's my daughter." LOL. to my story of her on the podcast, which is, and I said, really?
That's mine.
Which is funny because yes, we know this.
That's funny.
But
so I will say about the self-love. Before we get into that, I would love to talk about like my now friends because they have definitely helped me like find myself.
okay, well,
Yeah.
so how about you give us a quick hit on? So we covered your medical stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, guys. Stay
Yeah,
tuned. She's
stay
gonna fucking get better
tuned.
though. She's gonna get rid of whatever the fuck's going on, or she's just gonna keep trucking through.
Yeah, as long as I just
Either
like
way, you're
keep
good.
training every day, like I'll be good.
Yeah, as long as you keep fighting, you know.
Train your jujitsu and
Yeah.
get your striking down.
You got like that 1-inch punch that is like lethal.
Yeah, it's deadly.
So real quick before we get to that part because that's important, and it all is. So touch on these 3 things because I feel like they all correlate together.
Yeah.
Your job, bugs,
Bugs.
and your TikTok journey.
Yeah. So TikTok was actually crazy. I started posting videos. I've always loved bugs. And man, I will never forget. I guess I was like talking about it and like YouTube listens. They listen because one day I was like, you know what? Man, I just used to be the biggest fan of bugs. And next thing you know, on my YouTube, like homepage, I see this random video that maybe had like 1,000 views of this girl, and she was taking care of her pet praying mantises. And I was like, what the actual hell is she doing? That is so cool. I didn't know that you could have pet bugs. Like, you see them in
They're just doing
like
their thing.
museums and stuff. Yeah, but like then she like has them in like the cutest little like jars and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. But I wanted to do my research because I wanted to be a good pet bug owner, a good pet praying
Good
mantis.
bug mom.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
bug mom. The coolest bug mom ever. So I look at that. The next day I am out at the Navy base hanging out with some people, and the tiniest little baby praying mantis lands on my leg. And it just never went away. It just stayed with me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a sign from I don't know who, but this is a sign that I need to have a pet bug. So I kept
great
him.
bug guy.
His name was Randall. So fun fact about praying mantises, actually, it's kind of a sad fact. When the praying mantises mate, they make this like little egg casing, this egg sac, an Uthica or something like that. And so in that, it can have like up to 50, 100 babies, but a lot of those babies, some of them just aren't born. Some of them are born with like defects. And I would say only like maybe 15, 20% of those praying mantises actually make it to adulthood, because especially when they're little, when they molt, they grow out of the new skin and it helps them get bigger. And a lot of the baby praying mantises can't do that. So my poor baby Randall, I only had him for about 2 months, but then I ordered my first praying mantis online. And I've had a couple after that. Like I had one named Lavender. She like went everywhere with me. Like she went to Dollywood with me.
I remember you were at
rides with
one.
me.
You were like the Walmart checkout, and like it was on your arm. Like you
yeah.
were like, oh, she's buying some stuff, and like just. I was like, what the hell?
I bet people are like, how did that get in here? And you're like, oh, I brought it.
Yeah,
And
like
this
she's
is
mine.
my family.
Yeah,
So.
that's my daughter. That's my pets.
I'm trying to visualize like UPS dropping off a box of praying mantises.
Yeah, no. Well, it'll just be like it'll say fragile, live, whatever. Because I don't think it says live insects, but it says live something. Yeah, no, they just drop it off. I get it shipped, but for them,
It's just kind of a funny visual to me. Like,
yeah, it's insane. You can order them online, usmantids.com or mantidkingdom.com. US Mantids is another one, but they really never have anything in stock. I get everything from mantidkingdom.com. And like every time I order something, I'll just be like, dude, like this last praying mantis that I got, like I had her for 9 months. I took her everywhere. Like I will always thank you. Your praying mantises are the best. And like I'll order one praying mantis and he'll send me like 3. Like I don't know who this man is, but I love him. It's so cool. It's so cool to see. So, I started posting on TikTok, and next thing you know, I pretty much started like, it's so crazy to talk about and think like, oh, I blew up and I went viral. But like, I guess like under like technical terms I did, but like I'm just playing with bugs online. Like I really started gaining traction because like people were making fun of me. And they were being assholes, but I was like, "That's okay. Just keep commenting. Like you're just pushing my content out there."
I always We talked about this a lot. People comment the craziest shit on
Yeah.
YouTube, and like 90% of the time, I just respond, "Thanks for watching."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes if they're hateful enough, I'll say, "Thanks for watching." Really helps with the algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So I got through all the mean people, started getting bigger, started growing followers. I think I'm now at like 240,000.
What are the videos? Like, what's the content?
It's really just, do you have TikTok?
I do not.
Okay, so any kind of like trendy video, I'll just take that and I'll make it my
A
own.
bug version of it?
Yes. And that's pretty much
you
all
pull
I do.
one out?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Pick your favorite.
Take
Pick
my
your favorite.
I haven't done. See,
Put you on
ever
the spot?
since I started my job, I don't really do anything with my TikTok anymore because my main focus is like my job because I love my job and I just want to make sure that like I put out the best content and stuff.
You run your job's TikTok, right?
Yeah.
What's the following on that?
830,000.
On TikTok?
It's a pretty big amount.
Let me find. Okay, this was probably one of my biggest ones. Okay, where do you want me to hold it?
Towards this camera.
Just like right here.
Just like hold it out.
And that's all it was. 2.7 million views.
No shit.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see, but that's a praying mantis on your face, right?
It sure is. That was Lavender. That's my baby. If anyone knows me from my bug TikTok, they'll know who Lavender is. I did everything with her.
That's so unique.
Yeah. And then I got all my cockroach babies.
I appreciate it though, because you're like building a connection with this very unlikely living creature.
Yeah,
that people would be able to connect. Like people don't connect with bugs, but you just somehow have figured that out. You just have something in you
If you're just gentle and you give them enough time, like Lavender, the last like 2 months of her life, because when they get older, they're not as strong, they can't really do much. But I also I hand feed everyone. So like with their bugs, like I'll rip them open and like feed it to them and like hold it out for them. And so like they get super familiar with hands and stuff. And like with my cockroaches, like I play with them a lot and I handle them a lot. So they're super familiar with that. And Lavender, she slept on my pillow right next to me. She never moved. She was able to move.
Wild.
Yeah.
She would sleep on the pillow right next to me.
So we have to explore this a little bit.
Yeah.
I know we only have like 20 minutes or so,
Yeah.
and we have a handful of things, but we have to explore this a little bit.
Yeah,
so
no.
like,
Ask away.
how, why, what, where? I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like,
I have liked bugs.
I know you mentioned the anthill story earlier, but I mean, how? Why? I mean,
I've been playing with bugs ever since I was little. Like lizards were like my thing. Like I was always like finding a lizard. I was always holding a lizard.
but do you like dogs?
I have 2 dogs.
So like, what would you? I mean, this is a weird thing. I don't know if you could even do this, but
No, yeah.
when you think about like your dogs and your bugs, is it the bugs? Like it.
Do they have personalities?
No, they have more of a. Do you have more of a connection with them than like a dog or a cat or like those like? Because a lot of people have like, and it sounds like you do. A lot of people
Yeah.
have like a childlike connection to like a dog or a cat.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you have that kind of connection with the bugs as well.
I think I have that with every kind of little creature because so I have my bugs, I have my praying mantises, I have my cockroaches, I have my 2 dogs, I have a frog, I have 3 leopard geckos, I have an African fire skink, I have a veiled chameleon, I have a Eurymastix.
I guess the question I should ask is how many animals do you have?
Yeah. Oh, and I have some Texas gold millipedes and 2 smoky ghost millipedes, and those are pretty cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I just love it, and it's so crazy. But I think the craziest thing I have ever seen, or like the craziest connection I've ever had, was with at work. So my boss Logan.
Real quick, you've mentioned it a bunch of times. The work. What just?
Yes.
Without getting into the thing, what is it just in general?
Yes. So I run a YouTuber's merchandise store. I am the store manager. So I handle everything when his business manager or him is not there. I also run the store's TikTok and the store's Instagram. He is a YouTuber. The YouTube is called SML. It's all about puppets and their daily lives and stuff. So like most of my time is spent there.
Is it a physical store? Or you like that?
Yeah. It's in one of our malls.
That's cool.
In Pensacola, our only mall in Pensacola, pretty much.
So that's the work that you're referring to. I just wanted to.
Yes, that is the work. And so Logan, my boss, he had a tarantula. And so when we first started work, or when I first started working there, or when the store first started opening, because I'd been there since the opening, he was like, "Hey, you like bugs? Like, watch my tarantula." Like the tarantula had been in a couple of videos. Like people knew who he was. His name was Terrence. And so I I'm not scared of anything, but I know tarantulas can be super finicky. Like they're not people person. Like normally, like you don't hold tarantulas, you don't touch them, you don't handle them. But
I certainly do not.
Yeah, but I made it a point to get to know this little guy because he was the cutest thing in the entire world. And it was like my first tarantula that I had ever had. And like he was in the store, so I wanted him to be friendly. So the first time I held him, like I got like 2 t-shirts and I was holding him like this. And I was like, yeah, it's not that bad. So I started holding him on my hands. And the first time I ever hold him, he fell asleep on my shirt.
I guess I never even thought about the fact that spiders even sleep.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They do. Terrence slept a lot. And, you know, when they sleep, they have to feel comfortable because they're always like alert. They, you know, got to look out for predators and stuff. So when they sleep in like a dark hole. So he started sleeping in the hood of my jacket. And I was like, that's so funny. You're not in your cage, you psycho. What are you doing? And I was like scared to get him out because I was like, what if I wake him up and like, freaking, like he's going to bite me? But no, he never did. And so every day I would get him out. He would crawl all over my face.
Oh my goodness.
He was my little buddy. I even took him home a couple times. Like he would sleep on my chest. And like I let some fans hold him. Like he was the most friendliest little tarantula ever. Oh, it's gonna make me cry.
Wild.
I loved him so much. He was just my little buddy because I spend so much time at work. Like he was just my little friend, and there'd be a lot of times where I was there by myself. So he would just keep me company, and he'd just be crawling all over. He never, until the very end, because male tarantulas, unfortunately, they only live like 2, maybe 3 years, and he was already at like 2.5 years old, and he passed away in January, I think. So he was already at the end of his life cycle, and he flared up at me a couple times. But when you know they're at the end stage, like they just go kind of nuts, insane. But other than that, he never like flared up at me. I even hand fed him a cricket one time, and like he grabbed the cricket, but he didn't grab my hand. And I was like, "That's so
crazy.
insane."
That's wild.
He would sit up at the top of the cage, and he would wait for me to get him out. Like he refused to go back in his cage. Like I would try to put him back in there. Like absolutely not. He's gonna come back up on me, and he just wanted to stay on me. It was just the craziest thing in the entire world. And I have tried like looking it up, and I just think that not enough people just take the time to spend time. Like if they have a pet tarantula, it's like, oh, they're cool, but he
To, like,
loved me.
unlock
I mean,
that
most people don't get their like
Yeah.
dogs and cats attention,
Yeah,
you know?
he was literally a
much less
dog.
so.
yeah.
So just my follow up on this, and then we can move into the professional stuff or wherever you
Yeah.
want to go. But so like, what do you think that? I think like listening to you describe that, I can definitely like empathize with that feeling. For me,
Yeah.
again, for me, it's like my dog, but I
Yeah.
can empathize with the feeling. But it's still fascinating to me because you think about like 9 out of 10 people have like a very visceral negative reaction to
Yes.
some of the bugs that you're describing, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think it is about you that not only do you not have that, but you have the connection you have with them, and then it seems like you're able to somehow like communicate your energy to them to where they
it's
feel
crazy.
comfortable around you. And again, that's almost like what you consider like dog. Like if you're really nice to a dog, or if
Yeah.
you're mean to a dog, it gets skittish. Or if you're really nice, it'll come to you, right?
Yeah.
If you're really nice, it'll go to sleep around you, right? So like a lot of this stuff is like, again, you can put yourself in your shoes and be like, oh yeah, I understand that. But then when you realize that it's almost like midway through your sentence, I forget that you're talking about a tarantula, because a tarantula would make a tarantula would make me run out of the room,
Yeah.
right? And like
Yeah, no.
like cockroaches too, right? And it's like fascinating that like,
Yeah.
you know, again, you can empathize with the feeling, but when you think about what you're describing, it's crazy.
And like I would even like kiss him on his fangs, like, and he never brought out his fangs. Like
What?
I'd give him a little kissy little. Yeah, I would kiss him on his fangs, and he would tap my little lips.
that's insane. So
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think that?
I've just always, ever since I was little, like I've never really been scared of anything like that. I love being outside. I always just felt, I guess, this like connection with nature in a way. And I just always loved the little motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
They're just so cute.
Well, I noticed a theme too. You seem to like have a very tender heart towards
Yeah.
people and things that most people don't.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
you're just
and
like,
I think, because I just think everything deserves to be loved. So I would
on
love
the
to
small
love
scale.
the things that people don't love. So
Yeah.
like if I can give this tarantula love and give him a great life, like I'm going to. If I can give this cockroach like a great life, I'm going to. Because no one else does that.
Do you raise like plants by chance?
I do not. I can't keep
seem-
plants alive.
Okay, I was gonna say you seem like a kind of person that would enjoy that too.
Right. And I would love, so I still live with my mom. So I think once I get my own house, I would love to have like a garden with like fruits, like little strawberries and little blueberries,
Yeah.
and little raspberries. So that's the goal. That's the plan.
One day. But you got your bugs and your pits
Yeah.
right now.
Last thing for me, I promise. Is there any bug that grosses you out?
No.
Not one.
No. I mean, like gnats and fleas. Like,
What if it's a black widow?
they're
What
annoying.
about like a flying? Like in Australia, they have those like flying spiders. That are
Flying
like
fucking spiders.
flying spiders. And they
just-
have stingers on them, and they're like
They
this.
got like
big.
wings and shit.
Yes, they fly.
Get out. Not
I
going
just
off.
And
find
they
it
also have fucking.
fascinating.
You wanna talking about a dog and a tarantula?
Yeah.
We could do that combined in fucking Australia, bro. The spiders, the tarantulas in fucking Australia are like small dog size.
Yeah, they're kind
That's
of
just
big.
insane. Like,
Dude, could you imagine? And there's like pictures of people that walk in their bathroom and just sitting in their bathtub. It says
Yeah.
a fucking dog-sized tarantula.
I just think that if you take
No,
the
thank you.
time,
the
That would
spiders.
that would
love
seriously.
it.
I'm not even joking. That would
Yeah.
like be your dream. Seriously, like
This
you could
spider
have,
just, like,
you could have
yells.
like a dog-sized
Yeah.
spider would be perfect for you.
I
Seriously.
feel like a spider like that like speaks. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, get out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Take a
fuck.
shit.
Like that's how intimidating that is.
if you have the courage to talk to it, it's like you passed the test.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I will always thank my work for bringing me Terrence.
Yeah.
It's definitely, yeah, I just think that if you just show anything love and like you genuinely mean it, they'll love you back.
I need to practice that with flies and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So maybe they won't bite me. And I don't know about ticks though, man.
Do you even like? I mean, the idea.
I don't know. I'm going down the list of things I really don't like.
Well,
Ticks
actually,
are the worst.
No, but that actually like, I don't know. I'm so weird. It fucking sparked another question for me though. But like, so like. Saying that like everything deserves love and stuff like that. Again, that's why I was asking about the plants because it extends even to something that like is alive but isn't like walking
Yeah.
around and eating and shit, right? But so like tarantulas and like all the bugs you described, and we talked about dogs, cats, right? Like, so what about like ticks, mosquitoes?
I mean,
Like,
it's they're more of like harmful
any bug.
bugs.
I said any bug.
They're more of harmful bugs, so it's like I don't kill them. Like I just kind of let them do their thing. I've never had a tick on me before ever, so I've never had to experience like pulling the tick out and
have.
killing it.
oh yeah, I have to. It's actually satisfying.
Yeah. My
I'm just saying.
my brother had one on the tip of his wee wee.
Yeah, I've
Zane? Sorry, dude.
had one of the bad spots before.
I've never heard anyone scream like that.
Yeah, that would be fucking terrifying.
Oh my god.
I'd be like, just get rid of it. I don't even want this surgery, but I'm converting.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That is terrible.
So,
Yeah.
so basically, it's like you're not like I'm not gonna like kill them, but no, I understand that they're like it's a
Yeah.
tick. But
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
line.
I ain't trying to get no Lyme disease.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm gonna shut up now.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm muting myself.
All right, finish up. So we've covered your story, and we know about your medical stuff. We know about your killer job and your bugs and the TikTok journey.
Yeah.
And you're only 21. You're doing a lot of cool shit. I love that. And obviously, you've known me and Brett, obviously your brother,
Yeah.
and like all the guys, and you've been around all the.
When'd you meet him, Brett? Brett.
Where
When'd
did
you, when'd you meet?
Maybe when I was born.
So I'm curious. So I do. How much time we got?
About 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. First thing, because you're around myself and,
Yeah.
the Hariri boys, right? You're around all like the pagan ritual shit.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Because that's a different, I'm sure
yeah.
that was a different world to you at first.
Oh, it 100% was. I'm just thankful that, Hannah was there to kind of like help me like guide through everything. I mean, really, it's, I don't know what I believe in. I think, but I also will never like disregard what anyone believes because anyone can believe whatever the fuck they want to believe.
Yeah.
So
Follow your heart.
I love learning. I love learning about different things. So it was really cool to like learn about like what you guys like believe and stuff like that, and especially what my brother believes because he's my best friend.
Yeah.
So I mainly just went out there because, I wanted to spend time with my brother. And then, going through the rituals and stuff, like, there's some pretty good messages and like it makes me feel something and it makes me want to be a better person, like go there and like be the best version of myself. So
Sweet.
I'll always have the Hariri to thank for that. And like y'all are all my big brothers, so I love y'all.
Oh yeah. I love that. That's cool that you gain that,
Yeah.
you want to be better because of like what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's fucking rad. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So good to know. Good to know. And also your big message you like to talk about, self-love and self-worth.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is surrounding yourself with good people that make you feel loved, that make you feel wanted, that make you want to be here. Like, when I was going through all my medical stuff, and they had just found the tumor in my head, and I had all, like, my blood work was like absolute shit. And I was like, I'm actually gonna die. And so I would just, like, I couldn't get up out of bed, and I would just sit there and I would just think that, like, tomorrow, like, is going to be my last day, because, like, I'm useless. I feel like I have no friends, because at the point I felt like I really didn't have anyone, and like, I would just lay in bed. I will say that music got me through that. Hopefully by Zach Bryan, and then Stand by Rascal Flatts was like the songs I would listen to like every morning when I would wake up. I actually have Hopefully tattooed on my arm. But yeah, no, surrounding yourself with good people, it's definitely been like a hard journey. And like, I would always preach, like, you know, especially when I started doing like TikTok and stuff, like through the mean comments, like, you know, I always focused on like the positive. So I would see like these moms like commenting like, oh my God, my little girl loves bugs too. And I'm just so happy, like, she has a role model to like look up to. So then like after I saw that first comment, like on one of the earlier videos, I just started preaching like, guys, you just got to be yourself. Like, don't give a fuck what anyone else says. Like, the only thing you can be is yourself. So why not embrace it? Yeah,
that, like, you know, looking at that, and it hardens your resolve pretty much, you know, like, I don't know. Yeah. Like I've seen negative things, like talking about the motorcycle wreck. Like, oh, you bikers are going to deserve, you know, I'm talking about almost dying. And it's like, well, you get what you deserve. And it's like, wow, that's pretty fucked up. But,
it's
you know,
insane.
at the end of the day, I kind of just feel bad for those people.
We've had people make jokes about guests on clips where guests were talking about losing a child.
Yeah. Or like how they look, like, you know, just like fucking, like,
that's
you
insane.
know, and it's just like
I'm good for a joke and stuff, but there's a line.
But honestly, you kind of just feel bad for those people because, like, for some reason they get off from that. Like, that makes them feel good. And like, it makes me kind of sad that like that you're willing to just say such
never going to be a
negative things. Like, it's like, man, well, you just kind of suck. So sorry for you and whatever you're dealing with. Maybe you'll be better one day. But but overall you get, you know, the what highlights is those really positive things and the things that matter, and like the, you know, the messages, DMs I get for like, man, I've been listening to this and it's changed my life, you know. And
Brady,
it's like,
I know we bring Brady up all the time, but Brady, that's a perfect example.
Yeah, but things like that, like, that's the fucking shit that matters. So like, I don't give a shit about all the negativity. Like, we're going to keep pursuing what we're doing. You know?
I can't express enough that surrounding, you know, yourself with like people that actually like respect you as a human being. Like, I love going out to the, you know, the harem moots. Like, I may not understand what the fuck's going on, but like the energy is just so strong and such a positive energy that like I like surrounding myself around that, and y'all are just fun, and it's like y'all are like family. And now I've had terrible friends, and like going into my job, I had 2 friends from high school that I still love, but, you know, we're busy, so I don't really talk to them. And then, you know, going to work and finding, you know, my friends, and I met another person through work. I've just shout him out. His name is Johnny. He has definitely helped me like with my self-image, and definitely taught me like literally don't give a fuck what anyone else says. Like, you rock, just be you. I have him to thank for that. And so I appreciate you. Thank you. He's just helped me learn that, you know, I preach all this stuff, but I really need to like take a step back and like look at myself and be like, why am I going to preach something? And why am I going to give all this advice about people loving themselves? Like, if they don't love themselves. Yeah. So, just
many people and like influencers probably like preach this fucking message, but they're so concerned about what people think. Like, you know, like what's truly authentic, right?
Yes.
You said like, if you're going to be giving this advice, you should love yourself.
Yes.
Is that what you
like? If I'm telling this little 6-year-old like, hey, like, you're beautiful, love yourself. Like, I need to believe that I'm beautiful, and I need to believe that I love myself.
You need to live your message, and you know, I can relate to that. Like, when I was going through, you know, last year, beginning of the year, when I was going through all that shit and, you know, all that crazy stuff. Yeah. And I was just like, I had my brand, Relentless Pursuit, but I'm sitting at home, like, fucking drinking a couple bottles of wine every night, and I'm depressed. And like, I'm like, dude, I got this message that like, I'm a terrible example of it right now. You know, it ate at me. And I was like, that's why, part of why I did this, because I needed to fucking live what the name is, you know? And it's just, actually be authentic and represent what you're putting out there, you know?
And I think a lot of what my issue was is I've never dealt with bullying, like bad bullying from actual human beings, until the past like 2 years. So it's really like put myself in like this mental predicament where it's like, I don't understand why people have to be so mean. And it's like, I'm just trying my best to live my life. I don't do anything to hurt people. Like, all I do is spread positivity. So I just had to learn, like, fuck them. Like, hey, like whoever you are, you're beautiful. You're so amazing. Like, love what you do. Love who you love. Just love. Like, there's no reason for hate. And that's the biggest thing that I would want people to take away.
Just take away love.
One of my favorite sayings, I always bring it up about comments, especially anonymous comments on social media. And YouTube is really bad about that. I was explaining to Margaret earlier, because like on Instagram, if you're just like a normal person, you're probably not going to get an actual person comment some really hateful shit on your shit, you know. Yeah. But on YouTube, like normal people, even no matter what level you're at, like just normal people will just comment some crazy shit, and
TikTok,
you're like, bro, are you just are you just at work right now? Like, what the fuck? But my favorite saying is about that is hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
It's like literally, it's like, bro, dude, you're pathetic.
Yeah.
Once you kind of get that somebody actually took the time out of their day to sit down and write that. Like the comment that I was going to bring up earlier, I posted a clip of Terry earlier today, and it was him talking about how he had a connection with his dad through working with him, and that was like the only way that they could really connect. And that was what the clip was about. 3 seconds at the beginning of the clip, he said that he grew up poor, and then he talked to one of his friends and realized he didn't really grow up that poor. And then he goes into this thing about his dad. Well, somebody commented on it and said, you weren't poor, you had a dad. And then they commented again and said, you had a dad, I only had my mom's boyfriends. It's like, dude, think about that. There was a person that was on their mind and their heart that much that this random fucking clip that they came across on YouTube triggered them to the point to say, I only had my mom's boyfriends in my life. Like, but think about, like, again, hurt people. Like, you're literally coming from a place of complete pain. Like, this has nothing to do with Terry. It has nothing to do with fucking the clip that you watched. It's like, clearly that was on your mind. Well, and like, you know,
one thing I've learned is, like, with people, when they have something negative to say, especially towards someone that hasn't done anything to them, that's why I try to sympathize, because at the end of the day, they're just self-projecting their issues on other people, and they just don't know. The only way they know to cope with it is target it at somebody, but it's really just look in the mirror, bro, or gal, whatever. Yeah. So that's just how it is.
You have to wrap up like pretty soon, like a minute or so.
All right. Anything else, Zoe?
I'm just thankful to be here, and I'm thankful for all the people that are close in my life, the few people, like, you know who you are. I have you to thank for who I am today. And live your truth, bitches.
Love it, Zoe. Love you, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure, and it's been a pleasure having you sit in and just be a part of it. And Logan, as always, thank you.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. See you next time.
Good night.
Oh, that was so fun. How fun.